Hello, myself Sunil R Nair, and here basically we are discussing about uh, something about the future planning. And in this future planning, basically we are discussing that basically how basically the global warming basically connected to the world basically, and this basically is the very big level of future planning basically. And in this basically the education sector and the software industry both have basically failed. That basically literally basically I can tell you directly. Basically anybody says that basically you are self basically into software industry, and then basically you are telling like this basically, then basically whatever fact basically it's a fact basically, you have to tell the thing basically. So like this basically, uh, each and everything basically has fact basically, but one person told that basically we can recorrect that error also basically, no? We can basically recorrect the error, that is basically refresh the error basically. Because when you are Microsoft basically say that basically if you are getting any error, then basically restart the work basically, yeah. Microsoft itself basically is telling that the basically who are basically the number one company basically, they are only telling it restart basically it's, so basically the education sector also basically 100% they have to restart the thing basically. From where the education they have started, they have to refresh each and everything basically. So that is Sanskrit and Tamil basically. From there basically that city basically is Karnataka, that is Bangalore city. And basically the Karnataka basically mostly the Bangalore city might not be, but Bangalore city might be knowing that the where basically the this Sanskrit and the Tamil basically language group basically exist basically, because they know basically that A contains what, C contains what, D contains what, E contains what. So they basically have the list of each and every planets basically. And literally they have basically they don't. But then also basically the main thing is they are not using computer basically. They are not using any software basically. So how they will be managing them? Then one of the person told that basically, do you know basically Amazon jungle? Then he told that yes basically. So in Karnataka also basically there are a few jungles basically who are basically they are telling that this is that planet, this is that planet basically. This tree group is basically that planet. And this basically comes to C category or basically E character basically. This comes to those in this basically there are many this many planets basically exist. So like this basically literally they are calculating basically. Like this basically they remember the thing. That might be some another reason also, but exact basically data you can't get like this now basically. But they are doing the work since many years basically. So they might possible that way it has converted to habit basically. It might have converted to habits. So it might possible that from that village basically few people basically might be migrated to the Bangalore city, because Bangalore city is the IT hub basically. So they might be telling that this basically types of thing basically uh, is basically having in our village basically. So it's a software company basically, wherever the problem basically occurs, they literally reach there. So it might possible that somebody might have tried to create the software also, and they basically might have reached also. Few people says that NASA ISRO is not there basically. Then basically he told that NASA ISRO is also basically there. It's not basically I'm telling that the village basically group basically reached to Bangalore and then basically they started NASA and ISRO. That basically I'm not telling. Like this basically he told that basically things basically are there basically. Basically the software company basically might have tracked this, and it might possible that basically they might be creating the software, and it might possible that they might have created the software basically. That is also basically possible. They basically might have created the software basically. So that is also basically there basically. So few people says that basically uh, education sector is the main error basically. Uh, According to that, basically you are telling that the software industry also basically connected into error basically, right? So basically, he told that basically, who basically given the idea basically of the copy paste. Basically, you do basically take the we are basically creating the SAP data basically, right? SAP equal to as in that thousand city, right? SAP is using thousand city, and basically rest of few city basically are they are taking from the education industry data basically. So this idea basically that rest of basically city basically we can create from some other group basically, who actually given the idea basically. That person basically nowadays basically everybody knows that basically software industry person basically a lazy person. So from that person's idea basically, that laziness idea basically connected to the software industry, and that laziness idea basically connected to that copy paste also basically. So that was the time basically when the laziness basically connected to the software industry basically. So each and every behaviors basically in the software industry basically are connected this way only basically, by creation of the software basically. That is basically the software servers. When basically this Oracle was created, that time basically each and every behaviors basically was created actually from the software, so Oracle software only basically. Java when basically it was created, that time basically each and every people basically behaviors was also created basically. That this person behavior is actually connected to the software basically. The copy paste basically was a laziness behavior, so that basically connected to the software basically. So like this basically each and every behaviors basically are created from the software company also. That is also basically comes to I think this also basically comes to basically error, or basically I don't know basically, but this also connects to something wrong way basically. So that basically is the software industry basically group basically who has designed the software. Dell basically says Dell, HP is there. This whole group basically are also using the educational data basically. 100% basically are they using it. 100% basically they are using. For example, one of the MBA PDF file is basically there. Like this basically they can't create this much education data basically in the environment basically, right? So they have to take the data from the education sector data. That is the educational basically 1 lakh city basically they have created. So from there only basically they are going to take the data. Na? Then he told that basically this is the only option now basically. How basically they will create the duplicate basically. Then basically the problem occurs basically. Then one person told that basically duplicate was the problem basically. Duplicate creation will happen basically. That was the problem basically. That's why basically one person told that basically we had taken the educational data from few data from the education side. Then basically he told that basically why you have not taken the entire education data basically, because each and every education contains the software industry only. Na? Because software is also basically using each and every words basically. They are not using some other words. Na? Then he told that basically yes, yeah, this was actually mistake or not mistake basically. That basically need to confirm basically. That if we might have taken entire data from the education sector without basically creating our area, that was good area or bad idea basically. That basically is the our next topic basically. In next video basically we are going to discuss this only basically.